Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is a continuation from the previous video where I talked about the Portharcourt Ring Road, all you need to know about the Portharcourt Ring Road. And in today's video I'm going to be talking about how the Portharcourt Ring Road is going to affect the real estate sector in Portharcourt. Of course, the Ring Road is not just going to affect real estate sector in Portharcourt. Every sector in Portharcourt, every sector of the Portharcourt economy is going to be affected by the construction of this Ring Road, not just real estate. Every sector is going to be a beneficiary from the Portharcourt Ring Road. But I am going to be speaking specifically how this Ring Road is going to affect real estate development right here in the city of Portharcourt. The road is going to have a lot of positive effects on what is going on in Portharcourt, but then it's important we know that there are still going to be some negative undertones, which I am going to be revealing in this video. In this video I'm going to be revealing the negative and the positive side of how this Ring Road is going to affect real estate in Portharcourt. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back to our channel. We celebrate you and we are happy that you are here. If you are new to this channel, please do us a favor by subscribing to our channel. Click on the bell notification so you'll be notified when we post new videos, and also do it to give this video a thumbs up. If you understand real estate very well, you will agree with me that you cannot separate road construction from real estate development. Real estate development and road construction, they work hand in hand. They are husband and wife. You cannot separate the two. There's a popular real estate saying that says, find where the people are going and buy the land before they get there. But how will the people go when there is no road where they are going to go? So real estate development and road, they work hand in hand. Wherever a road construction is going to, expect real estate development to go that way. Like I said earlier, the Portharcourt Ring Road is going to have a positive and a negative effect on the Portharcourt real estate sector. But before we talk about the positive effect, let's talk about the negative effect. How will the Portharcourt Ring Road affect the real estate sector of Portharcourt negatively? The first way it's going to affect the real estate sector of Portharcourt negatively is that there is going to be massive demolition of houses in Portharcourt. Portharcourt is set to experience the highest demolition of houses that it have ever seen since the history of Portharcourt. Houses are going to be demolished massively for this project to be a success. It may surprise a lot of people that the Portharcourt Ring Road, which have already been flagged off, it is not going to be done on an existing road. Although there are some part of the road that is going to, there are some part of the road that will meet some existing road, but then major part of the road is not going to be on an existing road, and the road is going to, like the southern and the northern loop of the road. The southern loop of the road is going to be within Portharcourt and Obiakpon local government, and Portharcourt and Obiakpon local government have already been fully developed. So the southern loop of the project is going through a place that have been developed, where people have already built their houses. The project, which is set to commence at UTC Junction, which is after my one, from UTC Junction to Kidney Island to Abakaliki to Uwala to Igbo Island, almost the whole of the southern loop of the project is going through a place that have been fully developed. There are no empty lands in these places where I just mentioned where the road is going to pass through. So they are going to bring down a lot of houses so this road can pass through. The only places where they are not going to have a lot of demolition of houses is in the northern loop of the project. They are still going to develop, yes, but then it will not be as much as compared to the southern loop, which is an already developed place. But the northern loop of the project, there are some places that have not been developed. From Umekini, Alo, Igbeche, there are empty lands there that have not been developed. Now, as a result of the demolition that is going to happen for the construction of the Ring Road, it is going to lead to the next point, which is a lot of people will be rendered homeless. If houses are being demolished, of course, a lot of people will be rendered homeless, and I wish and I pray that the government is equal to the task or equal to the challenges that they are going to put a lot of Portharcourt residents into. It is not all about removing subsidy without creating an avenue to mitigate the effects of that subsidy. So I pray and I hope that the Portharcourt government, they are fully equipped and ready to mitigate the effects that the Portharcourt Ring Road is going to cause to a lot of Portharcourt residents. Now, one bad thing about the demolition of the Portharcourt Ring Road that is going to be constructed is that people that will be affected will be given very, very short notice, because before the present governor, before he came into power, nothing was talked about the Portharcourt Ring Road, and nobody knew that that project is going to take effect as soon as he came into power. So immediately he assumed power, he announced that the project is going to commence, and it is not like other projects where they are going to give you like 1 year or 2 years notice to notify you that in so time that they are going to demolish all the houses in that area. It is not like that. This one, people might even be given 1 month or 2 months notice, because nobody was aware that this project is going to start as soon as possible. So my earnest prayer is that the government, they are fully ready and equipped to take on the challenges of providing an alternative solution to those that are going to be affected. Nobody know who will be affected or not. Of course, where I'm living is part of the place where the Portharcourt Ring Road is going to pass through, so I don't even know if I am going to be a victim. So we just pray it goes well. The next negative effect of the construction of the Portharcourt Ring Road is going to cause is that a lot of genuine titles will be revoked. You have a CFO on your property, you have a governor's consent on your property, they will all be revoked as a result of the construction of the Portharcourt Ring Road. Now, before they can make use of the land where your property is, before they can make use of the land for the construction of the road, they have to first of all revoke the CFO. Before they can make use of that land, if the land have a CFO, it have to be first of all revoked before they can make use of that land. What we need to understand is that irrespective of the land title that your property is having, whether a CFO, a governor's consent, a Supreme Court judgment, irrespective of the title, they are not going to discriminate. Maybe if your property have a CFO, they're going to leave it and they're going to demolish the one that doesn't have a CFO. It is not going to be like that. The demolition is going to be indiscriminate as long as the property fall on that road where the Portharcourt Ring Road is going to pass through. It is going to be demolished. Now, if you're wondering how would they revoke a land that already have a CFO, remember, all lands belongs to the government. If you have watched my previous videos where I talk about CFO, all lands belongs to the government, even that land that have a CFO, and the government have the right, they reserve the right to revoke any CFO at any time for overriding public interest, but then there is room for compensation. If your property have a CFO and the CFO was revoked for overriding public interest, which of course a road is part of it, then there is room for compensation. The law states that you are going to be compensated. So whether CFO, governor's consent, Supreme Court judgment, yeah, trading, you might lose it if your property is affected. Now, the last negative effect, which is this negative to some people and positive to some people, but then it is negative to some people, so let me talk about it, is that the price of properties in Portharcourt and Obiakpo local government is going to increase rapidly. So if you have been thinking that you are going to buy property in Portharcourt and Obiakpo local government, and up till now you have not done anything, as soon as that road is completed, if you are not careful, you may never be able to afford properties in any of those locations. So it is to your own best interest, if you go now that the road have not been even commenced, you go now and buy what you want to buy, because if that road is completed, properties will no longer be affordable, especially in Portharcourt and Obiakpo local government. Now let's talk about the positive effect of the Portharcourt Ring Road on the real estate sector in Portharcourt. If you know Portharcourt very well, you're going to agree with me that development in Portharcourt is just between Portharcourt and Obiakpo local government. The other parts of Portharcourt, they are less developed. But with the construction of this Portharcourt Ring Road, it is going to make development to be centralized. Development will no longer be centered on just Portharcourt and Obiakpon local government. Development is going to extend to Ikure local government. It is going to extend to Iche local government. It's going to extend to Eleme or Krika local government. So with the construction of this road, development will hit these places that used to be rural area, and they are going to be developed just the way Portharcourt and Obiakpon local government is. Now, as a result of this development that is going to hit other areas of Portharcourt, what is going to happen is that there is going to be mass migration of people who have been paying exorbitant fees in the urban areas of Portharcourt. They will be tempted to go and buy cheap land in these places where the road is going to pass through to build their own house and stay, instead of paying exorbitant amount in Portharcourt. So there will be mass migration of people that are moving from Portharcourt city down to these places that will develop as a result of the construction of the Portharcourt Ring Road. The next positive effect the Portharcourt Ring Road is going to have in the real estate sector in Portharcourt is that price of properties are going to appreciate. If you have bought properties before now in Ikure local government as is, in Eche local government as is, congratulations. You see, you'll be surprised that if you come to Portharcourt, you'll be surprised that there is mass influx of real estate companies in Ikure local government. You discover that almost all the real estate companies in Portharcourt, they all have properties in Ikure local government. What are they rushing to do there? Because they know that with the construction of this road, it is going to open up that local government, and properties there are going to appreciate. So if you have properties in these areas, in Ikure local government, Eche local government, Eleme local government, you have been wondering where will this property appreciate when with development got to this area where I have my property. Well, congratulations, because the time for your property to appreciate has come, and development will certainly hit that area where your property is located. If you have not gotten a property in that location, it is not too late. You can still get property in those locations. For in some part of Istiogbo, Abara, you can still get for less than 1 million naira. But I bet you and I guarantee you that as soon as this road is constructed, you are not going to see anything. You're not going to see a property of less than 1 million naira in this area. So the ball is in your court. The next positive effect of the Portharcourt Ring Road on the real estate sector in Portharcourt is that there's going to be a mass influx of investors in the city of Portharcourt. Foreign investors, Nigerian investors, there's going to be massive influx of investors, because a lot of people will now be interested in Portharcourt, because apart from Lagos and Abuja in the Nigerian real estate market, Portharcourt is the next big thing. So with the construction of this road, it is going to open up the eyes of a lot of investors, and they are going to take keen interest in investing in the city of Portharcourt. A lot of companies, investors and individuals that think that Portharcourt is not worthy of their investment, we now start looking into Portharcourt, because Portharcourt will be more attractive. The next positive effect the Portharcourt Ring Road is going to have on the Portharcourt real estate sector is that there's going to be mass migration of people into Portharcourt. There are a lot of people that just want to live and enjoy their life, and as long as the southeast and south part of Nigeria is concerned, one of the best places where you can live a happy, a free life in south and southeastern part of Nigeria is in Portharcourt. There are some people that they hate traffic with all their life. Somebody like me, I don't see myself ever living in a place like Lagos because I hate traffic. So a lot of people that are like me, we love to come over to a place like Portharcourt if they don't have their means of livelihood centered in a place like Lagos where they are currently. One of the things that made Lagos to be what it is today is as a result of the mass migration of people into Lagos. So if this road is constructed, it is going to also cause mass migration of people into Portharcourt, because Portharcourt will be another hub for massive development in Nigeria. So these are some of the positive effects that the construction of the Portharcourt Ring Road is going to have on the real estate sector in Portharcourt. I've earlier mentioned the negative effect, and what I've just mentioned right now are the positive effect that it is going to have in the real estate sector in Portharcourt. Now, as a real estate investor, what are you to do? What you need to do as a result of the massive road construction that is coming into Portharcourt is to position yourself, because the place you call bush today will no longer be bush in a very short time. The places that used to be affordable now will no longer be affordable. So as a wise real estate investor, it is very important that you position yourself before this road is constructed. Where are the places that this road is going to pass through? Where are the towns, where are the villages that this road is going to pass through? If this road pass through Ibeche, if it pass through Omowa, if it pass through Alo, it is certain that development is going to hit all these places rapidly. So as a wise real estate investor, it is very, very crucial that you position yourself on time. If not, those places that used to be affordable now that the road has not been done will no longer be affordable. If you have gotten value from this video, please do us a favor by subscribing to our channel. Click on the bell notification so you'll be notified when we post new videos, and also do it to give this video a thumbs up. Till I come your way next time, my name is Kristas.